Okay, so it's a video. Now, here's the problem. I forgot which ones I asked you to do, so I'm just going to do a few here and there so you can go over the procedure. Okay, so on the very top where it says exercise 2, I'm just going to do a few. So this one says, sorry, exercise 2, if you look at the very top. Okay, so I'm just going to do a few. So let me pick number 7. Number 7 here says 3/6 equals 2, right? So in this case, we know the fraction we're simplifying with the fraction we're reducing to an equivalent fraction. So what's the relationship here? Divide by 3. So on the top, I have to divide by 3 and might get an answer of half. Let me do another one. I don't know. I'm just picking random ones, okay? Number 11, 5 over 30 goes something over 6, and again, we're reducing. So this would be divide by 5, so which means I have to do divide by 5 on the top, and that gives me 1. Let me see if there's a different one. Let me do number 17. 1/3 equals 24. In this case, we're making a fraction, okay, where it's increasing, right? The denominator is getting bigger here. So this would be times 8, and the top has to be times 8. That gives me 8 over 24. So which means that 1/3 and 8 over 24 are equivalent. And same thing here, 5 over 30 and 1 over 6 are equivalent. And 3/6 and 1/2 are equivalent. And I'll do one more. I'll pick another one also that builds. Number 6. Okay, so I got 5/7 equals something over 21. Relationship here. It's increasing times 3, so therefore the top I go times 3, and I got 15 over 21. Okay. Let me do exercise 3, and again, exercise 3. I apologize for not. I forgot the sheet at home in the classroom, so I don't really know which one. But this one, and again, it's just for you to get an idea. So let's pick again number 7. 15 over 3. Okay, so remember, this is the same thing as 15 divided by 3. So how many times can 3 go into 15? 3 can go into 15 5 times. So there's no leftover, so it's the same thing as 5. Number 9, 19 over 4. So now just do this the long way here. So if you divide 19 by 4, 4 doesn't go to 1, 4 goes to 19, 4 times 4 is 16. You subtract 9 minus 6 is 3, and you're done, right? So remember, so 4 can go into 19 4 times. That's where this number goes, right? How many left over? 3 out of 4. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do 14. It's 28 over 8. And you can simplify first and then change it to a mixed number. You can change to a mixed number, simplify it. So I'll simplify first. Okay, so I'm gonna take the 8. I'm gonna find a common factor between 28 and 8. So I'm gonna choose 8, not 8, 4. I'm gonna divide 8 divided by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 28 divided by 4 is 7. So that's simplified, reduced. There's no other common factors between 7 and 2 besides 1. So now this 7 over 2, I'm going to change to a mixed number. How many times can 2 go into 7? It's 3 times. How many left over? 1 over 2. And I'll just draw something over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you had these and you're dividing by 2, so you can make one group of 2, one group of 2, another group of 2. So here's 1, 2, 3, and that's where the 3 come 1. And then there's 1 left over, which is this guy right here. That goes over here out of the 2, right? That I was trying to make. Okay. And I'll do one more. Number 20. I'll put number 20 on top. It's 38 over 5. 5 goes 38 7 times. 3 left over 5. And again, I'll just divide here. So 38 divided by 5. 5 goes 38 7 times, which is 35. Left over 3. So the 7 is my whole number. The remainder goes in the numerator, and the denominator is 5. Okay. Exercise 4. On exercise 4, and again, I'm just going to pick a few different ones here. Okay, on exercise 4, let's try number 13. Okay, number 13 was 5 over 12 minus 1/4. Can't subtract this, so I have to find the LCM, and the LCM is 12. I have to take both. So again, on the side, I'm going to show you how you can find the LCM. So 12, if you look at the multiples of 12, is 12, 24, 36, 48, and so on. And 4, it's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and so on. If you notice, there's a 12 that they share in common, and a 24 also shares in common, right? But since we want to work with the smallest number possible, we can choose 12. You can choose 24, but like I said, if you work with small numbers, it just makes life easier. So picking 12, the 5 over 12 already has a 12 as a denominator, so nothing's going to change, so I'll just copy that. Now for the 4, okay, right, so the 1/4, we got to rewrite it into an equivalent fraction over 12. So if you think about it, 4 was 4 times 3, so I have to go up here and go times 3, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now I'm ready to subtract. The denominators will stay together, stay the same, sorry, and 5 minus 3 is 2, which I'm still not done because I can make this into a smaller number, smaller fraction. A common factor that they share is 2, so I'm going to go 12 divided by 2, 2 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 12 divided by 2 is 6, and the final answer is 1 over 6. Okay. Gee, let me pick another one. Let's pick 20. 14 over 15 minus 1 over 6. And again, they're different. The denominators are different, so you want to find an equivalent fraction. So again, let me just do this here on the side. 15 times 1 is 15, times 2 is 30, times 3 is 45, times 4 is 60, blah, blah, blah. 6 times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, times 6, so on, so on. Is there anything that they share? Yeah, you can see that they share 30. That comes out first. So the LCM is going to be 30. So we're going to rewrite these two fractions. So let's take the 15. How does the 15 become a 30? It was times 2, right? So I have to multiply the top times 2, and 14 times 2 is 28. How did the 6 become a 30? Times 5. And then tops times 5, and 1 times 5 is 5. So now we're ready. 30 stays. 25 minus 5 is 23. Okay. Let's do 24. 24 is 12 over 16 plus 5 over 8. I don't know why I chose this number, but let's do that one. And again, LCM. 16 is 16 times 1 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 3 is 48, etc., etc. 8 times 1 is 8, 16, 24, 32, and you can tell that they share the 16, they share the 32, and they share many more, but we're going to pick the 16 because it's the smallest. So let's rewrite these two fractions with 16 as the denominator. This one's already 16, so no change is necessary. This one changed, right? The 8 became 16, so it was times 2. So I'm going to multiply the top times 2, and I get 10. 12 plus 10 is 22 over 16. I can definitely work with this fraction, simplify it. So let's simplify it first. Can you think of a number that I can divide top and bottom by? I can divide it by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. 22 divided by 2 is 11. 16 divided by 2 is 8. That becomes an improper fraction. And let's change that to a mixed number. 8 goes into 11 one time. How many left over? 3. over 8. Final answer. So a few examples of here and there on each page, and then I'll do the last page, which was page 4 or exercise 5. Okay, so exercise 5, and hopefully I'll actually pick something that I asked you to do. So let's take a look at number 13, which is 16 and 5 over 6 minus 2 and 1/3. So if you change this to mixed number, to an improper fraction, right? So let me change this. I can go times and plus, and I can go times and plus, right? So 16 times 6 is 36, goes 3, so it's 96. So 96 plus 5, it's 101 over 6, minus 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 7 over 3. So I changed that to improper, and now I can find the LCM, right? The LCM between 6 and 3 is 6. So again, I'm just going to do this. 6, 12, 18, 24, 3. 3 times 1 is 3, times 2 is 6, 12. Oops, I can stop, because now I know they share. Oops, not the 6, but they also share, not the 12, but they also share 6. So the smallest common multiple that I have is 6. So I change everything to 6. So this one is already has a denominator of 6, so I'll leave it at 1 and 1. This one, the 3 became a 6. How? Times 2. So I multiply the top times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Now I'm ready to subtract. Bottom stays the same. 1 and 1 minus 14. Little borrowing here. That becomes a 0, becomes a 10, becomes a 9. 11 minus 4 is 7. 9 minus 1 is 8. So that becomes 87 over 6, which we can change to a mixed number, right? So how many times can 6 go into 87? So if that's a little bit too much to do in your head, you can just simply divide. 6 goes to 8 one time. Subtract, you get 2. Bring the 7 down. 6 goes to 27 4 times, which is 24. 3 left over. You can stop here. So how many times can 6 go into 87? 14 times. So that's going to be our whole number. How many left over? 3. The denominator 6, which again we can simplify. 14 stays, and 3 over 6 becomes 1 over 2. Remember, we can divide this by 3 and divide this by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Pick another one. Pick one with addition. Addition. Number 9. So 7 and 2/5 plus 1. That was too easy. 1 and 1/5. So this one, the denominators are the same, right? So this one you don't really have to. So you can change the mixed number, but you're going to notice that this one you don't need to. So what I'm going to do is add the whole numbers. 7 and 1 is 8. Over here, the fractions 5 and 5. So the denominator is 5. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So this one is simple enough. And I don't have to do any simplifying or changing an improper fraction. So let me pick a different one. Let me pick number 17, which is 6 minus 4 and 7/8, right? So you got a lot of options here to do. One of the things you can do here, let's change this to a mixed number. So 6 is 6 over 1. Remember, I can rewrite that like that. Minus, and this one, this becomes 8 times 4 is 32. Plus 7 is, this becomes 39 over 7. Put a plus sign over there. Okay, now we can find a common denominator, and the LCM is 7, so that changes to 7. This one stays the same. And the 1 became a 7 times 7. And on top is times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. 42 minus 39 equals 3 over 7. There's so many ways of doing this question, but this is just one of them. Okay. Let's pick another one. Number 12. Number 11. 11 is 12 and 1/7 minus 8 and 2/3. So again, let's switch things around. So times and plus. 12 times 7 is 84 plus 1, 85. So it's 85 over 7 minus, so it's times and plus. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 plus 2 is 26 over 3. We change this to an improper. Okay. Find the LCM. The LCM is 21. Right? So let's get our new equivalent fraction. So 7 to become a 21 is times 3. So this one is times 3. So 85 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Goes 1. 3 times 8 is 24. 25. So we get 255. Over here is 3 times 7, right? 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm going to do 26 times 7 on top. 26 times 7. 2 goes 4. 42. 14. 182. 21. And then 255 minus 182 is 3. Borrow 1, 15, 73, and 73. It's an improper. You got to change that to a mixed number. How many times can 21 go into 23? And again, you might divide this. 21 goes into 73, I think, 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0. 7 minus 6 is 10. So that's how much left over. So it's 3 times 21 going to 23. How many left over? 10 out of 21. Okay. That's it. You know what? I'll post the answers so you have the answer sheet and you can compare your answers. But this should be enough of a guide for you guys. Okay? I'll stop the video here.